LA. Straight up.
Let's go out to LA. The new anthem.
California
California Love Part 2.
One time.
To live in
Down LA. West side. West side. West side.
To live and die in LA, where everybody try to fatten their pocket. So many hustle for the cash, so it's hard to knock it. Everybody got their own thing, currency chasing. Worldwide through the hard times, worrying faces. Shed tears as we bury brothers close to heart. What was a friend, now a ghost in the dark. Hard part about it, brother got smoked by a fiend. Trying to floss on him, blind to a broken man's dream. A hard lesson, court cases keep him guessing. Bargain ain't an option now, so I'm stressing.
Well, hello. God bless you, community family, and welcome to Gang Talk with Skipp Townsend and Sister Herron. We're happy to share this hour with you, but today some hours in this topic are harder than others, and this is one of those. So we want to thank our guests for coming to share this conversation with us, because it's been a hard week for our community based on some conducts that were very costly. And so Skip, I'm so thinking about that I forgot who our guests were last week.
Right. So, sister, first of all, let me give honor and praise to God. Truly grateful to be here, sister.
Yes.
I'm excellent waking up every morning, and
Right.
as we said, it's a rough week where some people didn't. Cornell Ward actually came in his U-Haul truck last week, and he parked around the corner because he can't park in here with the U-Haul.
And I owe Cornell an apology, because I always forget that is his transportation.
Right.
He drives that U-Haul wherever he needs to go to, because he's sharing the benefits of what he carries in that truck, from food to anything that he thinks our community could benefit from. He's going to try to make it available to us. So
I don't think he's going to try to make it available to us.
You're right.
I really don't think
he's
so.
doing it. He's doing it.
making
You're
it
right,
available.
Skip. You're right, because I have been in the back of that truck a few times myself.
You on the air, sister.
Okay,
You in the back of the truck.
Well, hey, look, it's Cornell's truck, okay? And anybody that knows Cornell know ain't nothing wrong going on up in there. And I'm not ashamed to say I've been in the back of that truck a few
You've been
times.
in the back. All right, yeah, you've been in the back. Hey, high five her.
All right, because look, I visited him on some corners too.
You was on the corner.
Yeah, I
with
was on the
Cornell.
corner too.
Oh,
So,
my.
sister,
Amen.
I will go wherever is necessary to do what
Yes,
I need to
indeed,
do,
sister.
and I got no shame with it. So
Yes, we have to laugh to stop from crying.
Yes.
It's been a horrible week,
Yes.
and
yes.
grateful to have the guests that you brought on.
Yes,
So,
absolutely. So let's just get into it, because we've had a lot of response about this. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
I'm Angelique, Lamert Park area community activist.
Yes, she is.
No. Do you know who that really is? That's Miracle's mom.
Yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that.
I didn't even know your
Yes.
name. What's your name again?
Yeah, Miracle's
That's Miracle's
mom.
mom.
I'm Miracle's mom. Hi, everybody.
You're right. And Miracle is the youngest guest that we've ever had on Gang Talk, bless her heart. And I saw Miracle just the other day, and she's becoming quite the communicator.
Yes.
Quite the communicator. Oh, it was adorable. She told me where her mom was. It's
okay.
Where's your daddy? Oh, he's gone. Where's your mom? Oh, she's at work. Okay.
Telling all my business. Okay.
Well, I asked. She recognized
Yeah,
me.
she knows who to talk to.
Okay, and she was just straightening out my confusion, because she knew I was
right.
looking for mom and dad.
Okay.
So
She got to the source of the confusion.
she sure did.
And you're no longer confused, right?
I'm no longer
All right.
confused.
It
And
had to take a miracle.
and the joy
My
was,
miracle.
she's 3 now. Is she?
She'll be 3 February 11th.
All right.
Just next month. Okay, but she's acting like she's 4.
Oh, yeah.
She communicates like a 5-year-old. It just tickled me, because what I realized, my grandchildren are grown, so I don't get the opportunity to be around babies like that. And when I came for that purpose at night, she was there with her 3-year-old niece.
Yes.
Okay. And the other little girl that looked like she was 3 too. And between the 3 of them, I just got a full heart looking at these beautiful little kids.
See, that'll drive me to go have another baby, you know? If I'm around, right. If I'm around them babies like that, it make me go say, you know, why not one more, you know?
Didn't I see a picture of you holding an adorable little baby just a few days ago?
I had to teach her. That's my little grandbaby. I had to teach her, okay, I'm G-Daddy. So
G-Daddy.
G-Daddy. And I had to tell her, I asked her a question and give her the answer at the same time. Do you love me? Yes. And she said yes. Okay. Well, first she turned her head. Then she batted her eyes. So I had to ask her again, do you love me? Yes. And then she looked at everybody like, what am I supposed to do?
Right.
Yeah.
So, yes. The answer is yes.
Oh. That's so cute. That's so cute, Skip, because I think our children are so precious and so adorable. And as a grandmother and mother, I know they're the greatest gift God ever gave me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
In my life, the greatest gift He ever gave me was my children and the man that stayed with us to raise them. And so I have a lot of things to be grateful for in my personal space. But this week, it's about a 3-year-old that didn't get that opportunity.
Not at all.
And that's the sadness that brings us to this conversation tonight. And it's one of the reasons why I asked Angelique to join us, because she promised me last year she was going to bring a collage of women.
Yes.
And we were going to discuss things from the woman's perspective.
Yes.
Because we have great challenges. And we need to discuss them as much as we need to discuss about the men. But tonight we're here for 3-year-old Franklin. His name is Franklin. And he's the precious baby that got caught in the crossfire of some ignorance and madness that happened so quickly that it's everybody's upset about it. So this is one of the reasons why I asked you to come. And there were other people that I really wanted to include, but we didn't have the time to set all that up. So we've invited call-ins. Poetess was gracious enough to make sure we're doing a live feed on Facebook at the Gang
So we're
Talk.
live?
Yes, we're live.
Right.
Okay.
So folks can comment, they can chat, they can call us up if you see the phone number. But let's just go into the conversation about this.
Is it 323-293-3375?
Yes, 3375.
Okay.
Local area code 323.
All right.
293-3375. So you should see that across your screen, and then plus I posted the number there.
Oh, okay.
But I really wanted to get into the 2 men. The 2 men responsible for this. That's been my fixation and my focus.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I believe, sister, and please forgive me, but I believe that there is one man, one individual. I watched the video, and I know that it's hard to get a gist of what happened before that and, to actually hear the words. But just from my perception, my interpretation, if I was that first person in the video who walked out the store, past the open door with the car with the individuals, looked like they was rolling up some weed. Obviously, their mind was on something else. If I was that person and I walked past them, I would have gotten into the car with my girl and my step baby, my stepson, and I would have drove off.
Yes.
That's what I would have done. Had anything happened after that, had they started shooting or saying anything, hopefully we'd have been gone. Now, anything ignorant I would have done would have been later. Yeah. I might have been ignorant later. Of course, I might have been upset, but it would not have ever been to jeopardize my girl and her child.
Right.
That's the only thing I could say. And I'm not defending the individual who was in the car rolling weed. However, my whole thought and focus is on, this guy right here. If you just keep going.
If you'd have kept going.
And sister, I don't know if I mentioned about 2-3 weeks ago, there was a young man at the gas station on Adams and Crenshaw. Similar situation. There were 3 guys who approached him, and his 13-year-old son got shot. And it's because they keep running to the car where their children are. That's like an individual running to the house when people are shooting.
Right.
And please forgive me, back when I was 23, 24, I did that. They shooting at me, and I cut across everybody's grass, hopped the fence at my own house. They shot up my house. And my little brother was 9, 10 years old, and my mother tried to beat the dog out of me.
Right.
And I couldn't understand. I'm like, man, they trying to get me. But I didn't get it. But I'm bringing the foolishness to the house and putting putting them in danger.
Yes.
So now, as an adult male, I know that I'm not supposed to bring that home. But that's exactly what both of these men, the 13-year-old son who was out of surgery and recovering, but this 3-year-old son, this 3-year-old baby doesn't get the opportunity.
At all.
Not at all.
Right.
Angelique, you wanted to add something in this?
I mean, it's just, as with any loss, 3 to 80, a loss is a loss. And still, where's the solution? What is the solution?
Yes.
We see this problem on a daily basis, and it's so sad to watch the news. Sometimes I don't even turn on the news because it's very depressing,
Yes.
To see the state of the world right now.
Yes, it is. It is. It really is. To verify what you're saying, just to support it. 2 weeks ago, a little 14-year-old girl was shot in the car with her mother, killed. Her mother was shot too. The police stopped them as she's trying to get her daughter to the emergency room. But that daughter, 14 years old, shot and killed. You see, and...
you know what she said? Her mother said that she said, "Mom, I got shot in the head. I'm going to die."
I didn't know that.
That is horrible.
Yes, it is
for
horrible.
the baby to realize that, and for the mother to hear that's the last thing her child said.
That's the last thing her child said. And I truthfully want to go back to these 2 men in the liquor store, because it was apparent when you look at the videotape that whatever happened in that store, that both of these men knew it wasn't over. See, because you say the man sitting in the car was maybe rolling a joint, when I really thought that he was reaching in his glove compartment, which is where he got his weapon from. But he was leaning over, digging in that glove compartment for something. And my assessment is that he was expecting something negative coming next. And he wasn't wrong. Because as fast as the one responsible for the shootout got to the back of that car, he turned around and produced a gun out of his own pocket and fired first. And this man in the car fires back, killing the 3-year-old. So technically, both of them are guilty of murder, but one of them's self-defense. You see,
which one is self-defense?
The one that fired back. Actually, the one that killed the 3-year-old.
Right.
See, this is the process that our men really need to recognize. If you pull a gun with the expectation that you're going to have to pull a gun, who's prepared to die? Are you both prepared to die? Are you prepared to kill the people around you? Which is exactly what happened here. You guys decided you were going to face off in this parking lot, but the 3-year-old's the one that pays for it.
Right.
Right.
So had it been law enforcement coming out the store, law enforcement would have shot that car up. Wouldn't even went to their car. They would have shot that car up, and after the fact, they would have found the gun, and they would have said it was a justifiable shooting for law enforcement because of fear. I can't put myself in the mind of the young man who walked to the car, but for whatever reason, he felt to get behind them, to get the upper hand on them. So maybe he knew they were coming after him. I didn't see the reach until after dude walked by. That's just me. When he walked by, that's when I saw the guy get to reaching. Right, he's tripping, but I don't know. But the passenger, to me, it seemed like he was preoccupied to where he was oblivious. Like, man, we came for what we came for, you know. But I can't put myself in their situation, so I don't know. I just know that for me, we have to start working on dialogue.
Yes.
So, you know, when it happened, after it happened, of course, everybody came to the corner. Everybody's at the corner. The news media is there.
Right. Oh
All
my
the community
God,
members.
yeah.
People who haven't been out in the community in years
Yes.
showing up.
Yes.
Hey, I'm here. Those things are happening. But who is doing the work prior? So when
Right.
I investigated, you know, the two communities, and they say, yeah, they've been going at each other lately. And I'm thinking, well, why hasn't anybody stepped in
Right.
to say, well, let's sit down for a minute.
Right.
Let's start talking.
Right.
You know, I didn't know. So y'all shooting at each other. Okay, hold on. You finished? Like PP would say, sometimes you got to wait till they stop shooting.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready now? Come on, let's go sit at the table.
Right.
And this child could have been, this child's life could have been saved.
It could have been
had
saved.
we had people who would be willing to step up in both of those communities.
Right. Right.
So anyone who lives in that community with any influence, you're just as much as fault for not getting involved by closing your doors, locking your doors and closing your windows and saying it didn't happen to you. Well, you're just, I mean, it can still happen.
Just as guilty.
It's still ongoing.
Silence is consent.
Yes.
Every day. Silence is consent.
Yes.
So as you keep your mouth shut, you are saying it's okay for y'all to keep doing what you're doing as long as it doesn't show up in my door. See, that's really what that message is, and it's time for us as a people to really start examining what we want for ourselves.
Right. Community used to be all the mothers on the blocks could discipline all of us, not turn a blind eye. Oh, well, that's not my child or grandchild, and shut the door. No, I did something down the street. By the time I got home,
Everybody
Grandma
knew about
and
it.
Everybody knew about it, and you know I had to get my due. You know my due process.
You may have gotten your due process or some Miss Jones on the corner before you even got home.
I used to hate that. I used to hate it. Because I walk off and they, how you doing in school, Skip? Oh, I'm doing good. No, you're not. Your mom told me that you wasn't doing good and that you was out here running around when you're supposed to be doing your homework. Where's your homework now?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I did it. Okay, well, go get it. All right, well, I'm going to just call your mom and tell her you outside down the street down here. Have you done your homework? Well, bring it to me. If you come back out here, bring me your homework so I can see it.
Show me.
And
Yes.
I'm like, man, why would my mama tell you? You know, why are we
Exactly.
doing this? And now I know she going to tell my mama later, so I better go home and do my homework.
it exactly.
That's
I
the
hate
way
that.
I was raised too. We had 4 women on the 4 corners watching everything that went on in the block. And yes, they talk to you first, then call your mom and dad. So by the time you get home, mom and dad already know. And then you have to face the consequences from them
Right.
too. It's like, but that's the way the village protected us.
Yeah.
Now the difference here is that the men were the ones that protected the whole community because we were at threat from outsiders. As I say, and I'm not joking about this, don't ever forget that they used to drag our fathers out of the homes at night, hang them from the tree in the front lawn, burn a cross, and then burn your house down in front of him. Burn our houses down in front of his wife and children while he's hanging from that tree and they're looking at that burning cross. So that's the very essence that kept our men in fellowship with each other for protection of the community. That's the way I was raised. That was a village that showed me, as you said, they'll never let you forget. I don't care where you go. They'll never let you forget that you're colored. Okay? They'll never let you forget. We didn't say colored. We used the word they gave us. Okay? They never let you forget. And the evidence of that was not only Oprah Winfrey, but Barack and Michelle Obama. You know, as much as they've achieved, their people will never let them forget, well, yeah, you just colored people, so you ain't got no business here. You see,
Why are you sugarcoating it? sister?
Why am I sugarcoating?
Why are you sugarcoating? Because think about it. They have never sugarcoated anything with us.
No.
So, as we sit here and we attack each other, as we talk about these two men in the liquor store,
yes.
as we sit here and attack each other, I guarantee you they didn't sugarcoat that attack. I'm pretty sure the first thing came out their mouth was the N-word.
Right.
Because that we have been taught to hate ourselves so much.
Exactly.
And to hate who we are, that when I turn around and see someone who looks just like me, that's the one I'm going to shoot at.
Yes.
I'm not going to shoot in Beverly Hills, Bel Air, or anywhere where people have oppress my people.
No.
I'm going to shoot at another oppressed person because I don't see a value in him.
Yeah.
And that's what happened at the liquor store.
That's what
happened at
the
Adams
liquor
and
store.
Crenshaw when the man was with his 13-year-old son. That's what happened yesterday. Yesterday, Dollar Bill from the hundreds was killed on 107th and Dinker.
I heard about that last night.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dollar Bill.
He was executed.
Yeah, he was executed. First of all, he was shot 6 times. Mm-hmm. He was shot 6 times New Year's Eve.
Right.
His daughter was shot. It was a what do you call it? It was a ricochet, so it was a graze, right? However, she jumped in the car with 2 other people. After her dad got shot 6 times, they're emotional. They going looking for somebody, and the police got him.
Right.
The police got him, so now she goes to jail for conspiracy.
Yes.
A conspiracy to commit murder.
Yes.
She didn't even shoot anybody,
right.
but she's in jail for a conspiracy to commit murder. Her dad is shot 6 times. He comes out the hospital. He's recovering. Mm-hmm. He moves a little slow. He comes down the stairs. He gets in the car. He does not drive off fast enough. 2 cars pull up and they executed him. Mm-hmm. And now he's dead while his daughter. And then when he was shot, New Year's Eve, there was a 7-year-old shot as well.
Right. Wasn't that his grandson?
I think so. I'm not sure who it was, but there was a 7-year-old shot as well.
Okay.
And the 7-year-old is okay, didn't die.
Right.
Just like the daughter didn't die.
Yes.
But think about the trauma that is in our community.
Yes.
You know, every person I've talked to from that community has tears in their eyes. Mm-hmm. Hurt people.
Yes.
At some point, that hurt has to come out.
Yes.
It has to come out.
How do we make it come out without it ending up in murder? See, that I understand the hurt. I'm hurt too. I'm hurt for this baby that paid the ultimate price for these 2 adult men that are hurt themselves, hurt enough to have a shootout without caring about anybody that was around them. You know, when you shoot, you have to accept that bullets don't have a name on them. And as you were shooting Dollar Bill, didn't you care about that 7-year-old grandson? You didn't care whether he got hit. You didn't care that his daughter got a ricochet bullet. You didn't care about that. The whole objective was to kill this one man. Mm-hmm. That's the problem that I'm having with our men and their mindset. When did we come from fellowshipping and protecting ourselves to now our own worst enemy? That's the part I haven't been able to wrap my head around. And sadly, nobody's been able to explain that to me, and we're trying to find ways to change that.
Skipp said it before that if no self-love, if I don't love me, then I'm not. There's no way that I could ever try to love you. Mm-hmm. So the first conversation needs to be truthful from the perspective of the person. So why do I behave this way? What is going on in the lives of these young men and this young lady for them to have had this confrontation this day? That's where the conversation needs to begin. Why do I make these decisions that I make? What are they based on? An idea of what? These 2 communities not getting along based on an idea started way back when.
You know what? Let me stop right there because I think the 2 communities not getting along becomes the vehicle that I use for my violence.
Yes.
I think my violence comes way before that, and if I want to use it for something, we don't like them? Okay, now this is my outlet. Mm-hmm. But I think it happens prior to that. I don't love myself way before I find out we don't get along with them dudes.
Yes, exactly.
You know, but when I find out we don't get along with them dudes, Now I have an outlet for my anger. But it really starts deeper than that. It starts something you said about when you talked about the father being dragged out the home and hung, and the children seeing it, the mothers not having the father. Listen, so in some household, the child is raised up and there's 3 different last names. Mm-hmm. And then when the father comes and gets that kid and says, oh, that ain't your daddy. Mm-hmm. So that there's a hurt there.
Oh, yes.
You know, it's a hurt going to school when the kids is, you know, laughed at and you don't have this or that, and you know, they can't read like other kids or things of that nature. So there's so much hurt that happens. And is there an outlet? Is there a healthy outlet? And for me, the answer is no. The healthy outlet becomes when I hang out with my homies and we get to smoke and drink, and now maybe I can't read better than you, but I can show fight better than you, so you better shut up. You know, I think that what happens is that it comes out and somebody say, well, I can't read or fight like you, but I sure can drink a bottle by myself. You know, I could smoke a stick and I ain't going to be naked on the freeway. I could, you know, so there's different ways where people call themselves healing or dealing with some of the trauma, and it's not a healthy way to heal.
Yes.
Oh, and you was going to say something?
No, go ahead.
Oh, I'm staggered at the division, the deep division among black men. I'm staggered by it because that's not the black nation that raised me. It's the change that was overtaking us that's filled with black hate.
Right.
And the reality is we as a people going to want to have something else, or this is never going to change. And the silence is, in effect, condoning the conduct. Right. And we as a people don't seem to realize that our apathy is responsible for that 3-year-old's death. Our apathy responsible for the 14-year-old's death.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So when I had a conversation today, one of the young ladies who comes from the community Dollar Bill came from, she said that on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, she had a conversation with the other people who from the other community, and she said, hey, look, man, that 7-year-old got shot, and she said she was fussing, saying, hey, look, y'all got to do something because they done shot the baby. Mm-hmm. He's going to be all right. His daughter went to jail, but that baby and whatever. So she said that we can never be shooting at babies. And she said the guy she was talking to said, yeah, but, and she said after he said but, she totally cut him off, did not think about what he was saying. The only thing she could think about is he said, but.
He said,
so when I talked to his family members today, his family members said, Skip, let him finish. Because he stood across the street. Matter of fact, he didn't stand across the street. He stood within a 20, 30 feet radius when his own brother was killed. He was in a 20, 30 feet radius when his cousin was killed. Mm-hmm. And while the twin cousin was across the street watching this too. So the but is the hurt that you have, we have too.
We have too.
Right. And the things that we say, the things that you saying are wrong in your community, well, but weren't they wrong in my community too?
Yes.
So when hurt people get to talking to each other, a lot of times it's not based on logic and reason. It just becomes emotional. Mm-hmm. And out the emotion, if you can't feel the emotion I feel for my family member, then I'm not going to feel the emotion you feel for yours. And you know what? We're going to be right back at it.
Yeah.
We're going to be right back at it again.
You know, you're so right about this because it seems to be a death grip that members of some communities don't want to let go of. That's why Dollar Bill's dead.
Right.
Somebody held a grudge against him. They waited for the opportunity. Oh, we didn't get him in January, but it don't mean we stopped trying.
We didn't get him 5 years ago, but you know.
Yeah, right. So there is that retribution that hangs, keeps that cloud over this thing. But the difference in that retribution and what happened in this liquor store was the personal connection. Right. You two guys had no personal connection. You from one neighborhood, he's from another hood, and now all of a sudden because you're beefing, now you get a right to have a shootout. I mean, and the sad fact is that that's the only thing you're expecting is a shootout. Both of you carrying guns. Both of you ready to use them. Neither one of you is afraid to pull that gun and pull the trigger. Neither one of them had a problem doing that.
No.
Neither one of them. And that's the part that is the phenomena that has changed for me that I can't justify it. There's no way. And as you said, Skip, the hurt is in this community. It's the same hurt in this one. It's the same hurt in this one. And years ago, I had a man tell me, same tears, different neighborhood. Same tears, just a different neighborhood. And why we can't rationalize that as a people, shun it, turn our backs on our entertainers that glorify that lifestyle.
Well, one of the things that I've been taught in Dominoes, but it really says it right here, it's the same things that make you laugh or make you cry. Yeah. So when, maybe it's our side, like, oh, you got whoop-de-whoop, oh, you got them, and all the high fives and everybody drinking like, oh, well, it ain't my homeboy. Mm-hmm. But the same thing that makes me laugh is going to make me cry when it is my family member,
exactly.
when it is my homeboy, when it's somebody close to me.
Yes.
So that's the thing, too, is that no one will ever win. Yeah. No matter how many of them dudes shoot each other, they will never kill the entire community.
Right.
They will never go away. What will happen is the shootings will continue, and the same thing that makes you laugh one day will make you cry.
Yes, that's my ultimate question in all of this. What's the victory? What's the victory? What's the victory that's going to end the war against ourselves? What's the victory? And the truth is, there's no victory. Just what you said, there's no victory. We're all suffering from this. Everybody's susceptible. Nobody's immune. Not when you come from our community. And Angelique, I wanted you to come and, because your baby's 3. Almost, well, you said 3 next month. Yeah. That's just in a week. But as a parent, what would you tell, as a mother of a 3-year-old, do you have any words that you could say to these 2 men? I know that's a hard question.
It's a very hard question.
Yeah.
Based on the fact that, personally, from my standpoint, I can't be the judge and jury on these 2 young men. Based on, I don't know where they came from. I don't know what they have dealt with in their lives. And to me, it's all based on fear. I got to get you before you get me. So let me hurry up and get my pistol. Oh, you getting yours too? Okay. And whoever shoots first, it is what it is. That's exactly what it looked like. In the video.
In the video.
So, as a mother of a 3-year-old, of course, it touched my heart deeply because my grandchildren, all the kids, and again, any loss is hurtful.
Yes, it is.
But as a mother of a 3-year-old, it's just difficult to even process what the young lady is going through. Mm-hmm. Her situation with the young man, being with the young man at the wrong place and the wrong time with her child in that back seat. Yeah. What is she feeling right now? Yeah. How is she processing that her 3-year-old is gone based on this gentleman that she had in her vehicle with her? Yes. That's the conversation. Where does she go from here? Does she have other children? There's a whole lot of conversations that can take place from this issue, but it's just sad. 2 young men, one who is looked at as self-defense, but, if they go into his record, once he goes to court, if he's convicted, so it's just a loss all the way around. 2 young men, a young life, and a woman distraught over the life that was taken. Yeah. So again, it's a lose-lose situation. How do we move forward from that? Mm-hmm.
And you know what? And I look at the 14-year-old girl, the dollar bill. It's like, God's trying to tell us something, and we ain't listening.
Oh yeah,
we ain't listening. I know you're listening,
I'm listening,
but those shooters in that parking lot ain't hearing us. And their crew that are beefing with each other ain't hearing you, Skip, or where is the most hurtful thing I heard in trying to reach out to mediate between war and neighborhoods. they were asked, well, what would it take to bring you to the table to discuss peace? And their answer was a body in the trunk. A body in the trunk. They owe us a body in the trunk. And my response to that was, well, you owe a body in the trunk too.
Right.
See, so you can't ask for your body and not be prepared to give up one.
Right.
So how do we get to the middle here? And the truth is, everybody's paid the price for this. Nobody has a right to withhold themselves because they ain't caught up yet. There is no catching up. You're never going to make this even. Never. It's never going to be even.
Never going to be it.
Never. Never. And so I'm looking for that spark of understanding from our young men playing this dirty, deadly game. What's the future? What's the victory? What's it going to take? If we give you two bodies from both neighborhoods, is that going to make the difference here? What does it take to wake that up and see that that's a useless conduct, even if you are hurt? Even if you do hate, it's not going to take you anywhere that's going to make things better. That's a frustration that I see in this, is that we haven't been able to reach them in effective ways. It gets them to realize that, you're shortening your own life.
Right. That's really sad, sister. And I think one of the things that has to happen early in childhood. I always talk about prevention programs, and they really don't do what intervention does, but that love has to be taught early. That love of self, that self-respect, that self-discipline has to start with self. It has to happen in the home. It has to be enforced in school. It has to be enforced, like we said, through the community members, the stakeholders who have a stake in us being raised properly. For all the people who close their door, roll down their windows, and lock their doors and all that. Well, what they don't understand is they have a stake in how our children are raised in that community. Yes. Because if you ignore my child at 7 and 8 years old and you do not pay attention, by the time he's 17, 18, he's the one breaking in your house. Yes. He's the one targeting you. If we don't know our community members, then it's easy to say, oh, that's them over there, go get them. Right. So and when he's running, being shot at, whose house is he running in front of? Yeah. So we have an investment. Matter of fact, there was a shooting last night on 3rd Ave and King.
Yes, there was. Yes.
Right. Who was that? And was it at my boy? It wasn't at Fred's Taco, was it?
No.
At Worldwide Taco?
Worldwide.
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, because I just saw it on Facebook. Veronica had posted it, said she went by there, and all I could think is, man, that's Fred Dog's spot.
Okay.
I know he take a long time, but don't shoot the Taco Man.
No, don't shoot the Taco Man. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
But you're talking about the thing that ended up with somebody shooting at the police. It turned into a SWAT standoff.
Right. I think they were shooting at someone. Police came up on them, started shooting at them as well.
No,
they didn't do that.
Well, my understanding in the SWAT thing is that the police were responding to somebody shot in the parking lot. Okay. And as they're trying to find out what's going on, somebody else starts firing at them.
Oh, okay.
Well, the news was happy to tell you that the police did not shoot back.
Oh, is that right?
They did not shoot back. No.
Well, that's
they
the
came
first.
in. Yeah, I know it. Well, that was the phenomenon. They didn't shoot back. They took homie in alive.
What?
Yeah, they took him in alive.
Man, can we give a shout out to LAPD?
Yeah, let's give a shout out.
I bet you it was my partner. Remember I said I got that one friend who come out that community who will chase them down and take them to jail.
Yeah.
But will not shoot them.
The one that chased the killers through my backyard.
Right.
The ones that not one of them.
Did not kill. Got 3 of them in custody. So, I mean, you know what? I'm not a fan, and I'll never do a commercial for LAPD. But when they do their job like that, someone was trying to take their life, and they were able to keep the emotions down.
Right.
Yes.
Woosah. And go ahead, use your tactics. Find this person, take them to jail.
Use your professionalism.
Use your professionalism. Man, I got to tip my hat to them when they do that. I have to give them a shout out, a high five to all of them. I guess SWAT, Southwest, whoever did it.
Right. Charlie Beck ought to do something right before he leaves.
I could tell you this: it wasn't Metro.
No,
Metro would have killed everybody. Metro would have killed everybody. Dog would have been dead. Everything.
Man, Metro's the one that killed those three young men under 21 in 2016 in 3 months.
Metro would have.
They killed four men under 21 in 3 months. Yeah, so one of them was Cornell Snell.
Hey, you know what? Not to change the subject real quick. Commercial break. No, it's on the same thing. There was a guy who was out here in California who got into it with one of his family members in Missouri. Something over money. He called the police out there and told them that it was a hostage situation. So do you know when SWAT went in, the guy answered the door, they shot him.
They shot him. Yes.
So not only was it not a hostage situation, how do you justify that?
Exactly.
How do you, so I get it. This guy over here, he should hang. Whatever.
Yeah.
He's foul for that.
Yes.
But how does the police justify in their professionalism, in their training, in their tactics, how do you shoot an unarmed person who never was a threat to you in the first place? How do you justify that you had the right to take that person's life?
Yes.
And it doesn't make sense.
No.
So, yeah.
Well, these were one of the things that we always had an issue with LAPD about. You know, you shoot first and then you find out, well, the guy didn't have the gun. He wasn't even involved in anything. He was just basically minding his own business when you came up with misinformation and now they're dead.
Right.
You didn't even try to effect an arrest. You just shot and killed them based on what you were told about what's going on in this corner that you came to. So we fought for many years. So I'm really amazed that they did not kill the man. They were shooting at them last night.
Exactly.
That has to be a first for South Bureau.
Right.
That has to be a first.
No, that's the second. Remember, I told you the dude chased the ones.
That's right.
But he
right.
He didn't shoot at him, though. He turned. What he said is when he turned, he saw that he was not turning to shoot at him. He was turning to run, probably down your house. He turned to run down the side of the house.
Right.
So he said he could have, but he said, "No, it's no threat."
They didn't fire
knocked him down.
They didn't fire not one weapon. And the amazing thing about that was those officers saw those 3 men commit murder. That's why they was chasing. Oh yeah, they was coming from King Boulevard, having just gunned somebody down, and they ended up losing control of their vehicle on my block, trying to get away. And when they lost control of that SUV, they jumped out and thought they could run. But the police was right on them because the police had witnessed them just kill somebody. That was a miracle for them that night.
Right.
It really was, because if the officers wanted to shoot them, they were justified.
Right.
They were justified. So those 3 men are walking around because LAPD did not pull the trigger on them that night.
But I want to say where they're walking, though. They're walking through L.A. County Jail. So I don't want people to think they went home.
Say, well, wait a minute.
They're not walking up and down King Boulevard.
No.
They're not back on Normandy. No, they are definitely walking around L.A. County Jail, getting ready for court and, getting their paperwork together. And,
you know what, as they should be. 3 murderers. I just don't understand why you think you should be able to go home after you've killed somebody. It just, you determined to take that life, then you might as well do this and give yourself up. Right. See, because somebody's coming after you. Somebody's going to come after you, whether it's your enemy or what. And I don't know if you hope it's your enemy or law enforcement. I'm not sure what the men want. Do you want the retaliation or do you want the arrest? Pick one.
So, sister, I want to ask you, and Miracle's mom as well. Think about this. So there are so many people I know who have come home 15, 17, 19, 25 years, even 32 years after a murder. And society, when we have mothers whose children, even fathers whose children have been murdered, how do we integrate into this system with the hurt and pain that will never go away from their child being murdered, but from the relationship of doing reentry and helping people get back after they've done their time? How do we work something like that?
I'm going to raise a hand to put a pin in that, because I don't want anybody to think that I'm just gung-ho to release everybody in lockup, because I draw the line at a murderer. That's really where I draw the line. How do you come back from taking a life? Do you deserve to have a life after you've taken a life? Because one of the biggest commandments is you ain't supposed to kill. See, so when you kill, where does your second chance come from? When you've taken a life, you've technically forfeit your own. How do I have to wrap my mind around giving you a second chance and you've hurt somebody to that degree? If you rob me, I can forgive that. But if you steal the life of my child, there's no coming back from that. You see, and so that's a burden our men should not want to carry on them. I'm a killer trying to find my way back to a life.
Right. The reason I said that, there was a young man in the training today who did he did 22 years on a murder. And what had happened when he said he was in court, he said this is where he learned how to heal. He said while he was in court during trial, the young man that he murdered's entire family would come to the trial, each and every portion of it. And he said that his mother is the only one on his side who came to the trial, each and every portion of it. So he said that after he was convicted and sentenced to his 20 years or 25 years, he said that his mother was leaving and the young man's older brother came to his mother and said, hey, are you okay? And she was like, no, it hurts. I'm sorry for your family as well. And it hurts that my son is going to be gone. And she was asking him like, are you okay? You talking to me? Are you okay? And he says, yeah, we're okay. He says, long time ago, we already forgave your son. And this is before sentencing. He said, yeah, we forgave him a long time ago.
Wow.
And, at the time he was 18 or 19 years old. So
a baby.
He was a baby.
Just a baby.
So, that gets me. He said this is what taught him healing.
Yes.
This is where he began to learn what healing really is. But at the same time, as we, and Taco was in the room too, and Taco was like, hey, everybody's not going to do that.
No.
Everybody's not going to do that. So we have to be realistic. Right.
That was his miracle that is just not common. It's just not common. I mean, I've had mothers that have, I'm sorry to say, have run across the mother of the child that murdered their child, and it didn't come out well. Not the way you're saying. Oh, no, there was no forgiveness. There was just animosity. I have nothing to say to this mother. Her son stole my child. I'm not going to get over that. So what words can I say to her? And forgiveness was not one of them. Right. No, that was never coming out of her mouth. And I really felt bad for her because the one thing you cannot deny is that pain in that parent who's had their child snatched from them in this horrific way. There's no words that are going to fix that. Right. There's just no words. And when you get that phone call in the middle of the night or get that knock on your door that says, oh, we have some bad news for you, that's when it starts. That's when it starts. And only the individual can go through that. We can't carry them through that. We can't make it right for them. There's nothing we can do except love them and support them and give them as much understanding as we can. You see, because this mother, this 3-year-old, she's young. Her baby's just a baby, and he's gone already. No more birthdays for him. No more birthdays for him. No graduations. No achievements. He's certainly not going to get married and give her any grandchildren. You see, and when we are so careless with our own lives, this is what I don't understand, what has happened to our men and their spirit. This is a part that I don't understand, that their lives weren't worth anything to each other. Like you said, Skip, homie should have gotten the car and just driven away. Whatever happened, the beef in that store should have stayed in the store, and both men should have gotten their cars and gone on about their business. But to know that there's a beef in the neighborhood, it's an onus on all of them.
Right.
All of them, both sides.
So think about the little boy who was in the movie with Bruce Willis. And he told Bruce Willis, he said, I see dead people.
I see dead people.
That's what he said. And the thing he said is, some of them don't even know they're dead.
I don't even know.
So not in the physical form, but
Right.
you just brought up spiritual. Some of these individuals we're speaking on are spiritually dead.
Yes, they are.
And they have no idea.
These two guys.
They don't know that they're spiritually dead. The young man who should have gotten in the car and drove off with the baby in the car, healthy and alive, he does not realize that even in the store, even before he went to the store, if you are taking your baby with you to take me to the store, I am not taking a gun with me to go to the store because I am going to put my life, your life, and your baby's life in danger.
Yes.
So therefore, I am spiritually awake. So I'm not going to do that. But someone who is spiritually dead is going to say, I don't care. I'm taking my gun everywhere.
Everywhere.
And it's because they are already dead spiritually.
Yes. Already dead. Already dead. So,
and they don't know it.
I think as of now, he's still in hiding. I'm not sure. But the one thing we want him to understand,
who's in hiding?
The instigator of the shootout.
No, he's around. The other dude turned himself in.
I know he turned himself in, but
the shooter that hit the child turned himself in.
And what's so ironic about that is we talk about, and you talked about the father being taken from the home and the things that they did to take the father out the home. The shooter actually lived with his father. So this young man, the shooter in his car, they say his father's the one who encouraged him to turn himself in.
Yes.
He has a relationship and lives with his father.
Yes, he does.
That is the ironic part. Like, you come from a balanced home. I can't say it's healthy, but it's balanced.
Right.
You come from a balanced home, and, this is still your choice of how to deal with situations. So.
Well, both of them should turn themselves in.
I believe they're in contact with the stepfather.
I know they're trying to find him.
They lost him because they had him the first night and the second day,
and they released him.
Right,
they released him. Have they taken him into custody again? I don't know.
I don't think they have. I don't think they have the. I don't think they have the support of the DA right now to take him in. I don't think they're looking for him.
I think they are after the videotape. See, at first.
No, they had it. The police had it. Yeah, so right now the police are not focusing on him. And trust and believe, they're going to follow him. He can't hide.
No, he can't. He shouldn't hide. He has no right to hide. He has no right or reason to hide.
I just don't think right now the DA has filed. But when they file.
And they are.
Yeah, he'll be in there with that guy.
Yeah.
They're going to be in the same jail together. And then let me tell you what happens. Let me tell you what happens in Compton and in Watts. This is so crazy. What happens in Compton and Watts is the Compton Crips come together in jail. They have to. It's a CC car.
Okay.
So I don't care what side of the street you are on from Alondra, whether you're on this side or that side. When you go to jail, y'all going to be together. You go to prison, y'all going to be together. Y'all going to eat together.
Yes.
It's the same thing in Watts. So all these people that fight in Watts, when they get to jail, they call it the Watts car. They come together. Bless their heart.
Yeah. Bless their little hearts.
All this fighting, shooting, killing, go to prison for 20 years and
and pride.
And you have to be with the person you grew up with in there. So when the people from Sacramento or the Southsiders is coming to get us, you know who you looking for? You looking for your people. Whoever come out of Compton, whoever come out of Watts. And that's crazy. Like, so why y'all can't figure that out on the street?
Exactly.
There it is. And that's my question. Why can't we figure this out as a people? And I, it's from the top down because there's a certain amount of this has been glorified. That these men think that they're doing something with honor attached to it. And it's smoke and mirrors because there's no honor in this. There's no honor in you repping for your hood, you shooting people over here in their hood. What for? And they shooting back at you. There's no honor in this. So I don't understand when you say that the two neighborhoods are beefing with each other. Why?
I don't know.
There's no honor in what you're doing. So what's the beef about? And I'm going to say it one more time. What's the ultimate goal? You want to kill all the black men in L.A.? Then you just be the last man standing? I mean, what's the goal here? And that's what makes it so stupid. For an old lady like me, it's just stupid. It's ignorance. And you said it, arrogance and ignorance.
Ego
and pride.
Ego and pride. Yeah. I said arrogance and ignorance. But
do you know how many people? Do you know how many people are in Inglewood right now at the corners of Manchester and Prairie, across the street from the Forum. They in there full of ego and pride.
Yes.
That somebody that made them get dead. They dead. And the rest of them are in prison. Ego and pride.
Ego and pride.
Yes, indeed.
So this is a life that our men want for themselves.
I don't know.
I think that they think this is the only life that they can have or that they deserve.
So once again, that lack of love and understanding for themselves. They don't love, they don't understand the greatness that they could be.
Yeah.
So therefore, before they even leave the house, they are spiritually dead.
Yes. Walking dead, like you said, Skip. They don't even know they're dead.
Right.
Dead people walking around our neighborhood. Well, you know, family, we're here for this purpose, and some shows are a little easier, and then some shows like this, there's just no words. There's just no words to wrap it up. We don't have the words to say to you. We don't have the comfort to add in because the innocent child got caught up in this madness. And all of us are responsible for it. Yes. All of us, and especially the two neighborhoods that are fighting with each other. If this doesn't bring you to a mediation, nothing will. Nothing will. Right. And as ashamed as I am about this whole thing, I'm afraid there's going to be another casualty. That's my fear. That the neighborhood is not done with this yet. This 3-year-old has paid the price, but these two men, somebody around them, is not done yet.
That's what you said. What?
Right.
What's the outcome? When is it gonna? You said until what? One is standing?
Yeah.
What's the purpose?
What's the purpose? What's the purpose, family? And you know what? Only we can answer that. There's nobody coming from the outside to tell you, well, this is how you fix this. No. This is internal, Black nation sickness that we're going to have to turn around. As much as we stood in the gap with Dr. King and Malcolm X and the Panthers and even the SLA and feeding the kids on Central. You know, we stood in the gap for them, but this is who we have become now. And so this show is asking us as a people, what do we want for ourselves? Really. That's our question tonight. What do we want for ourselves? And how do we get there? And I'm not asking Angelique because she's doing great. She has a beautiful little miracle child that is so aware and so engaged and so engaging. And, you know, I think about her, and then I think about that precious little 3-year-old Franklin. That's his name, and we should never forget that boy's name. His name is Franklin, and he was 3 years old, and he had a right to live that was stolen from him. And as tragic as that is, family, we are responsible for that. We, as a people, are responsible for that.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
I agree wholeheartedly that, especially what you said, too, those who stand in silence are really responsible. We have to do something. We all can't do the same thing, but we all can do something.
Right.
We have to stand up. We have to open our doors, open our windows. We have to engage the community the way we were engaged when we were younger.
Yes.
We have to find out who is hurting and help them with the healing process and that hurt. And, you know, and the one thing we talked about today, too, in the training I was doing, is that it's not always in the name of Jesus Christ. I know a lot of people want to run the church and say, oh, you got to go to Jesus. And I am not knocking the Christian church. I have absolutely nothing against it. But I do have to say that I have to find that outlet that people want that make them healthier. And like, so I'm talking to Dollar Bill's baby mama, and I'm talking to Dollar Bill's best friend, and I said, I always knock the cigarettes out their hand when I'm around, right? They know they can't drink around me or smoke cigarettes. They run from me. But I said, this is a moment. This is a moment where I will go to the store and buy you some cigarettes. I said, this is a Hennessy no ice moment right here.
Right.
So sometimes I can't say, oh, no, just give it to Jesus. Come with me to church. You know, I might need you to smoke a pack of cigarettes right now. just to calm your nerves and calm down, so then we can have a decent conversation.
And let me put a pin in that Jesus thing that too many believers forget. He came for the lost, and he came for them on the street corners and the highways and the byways,
Yes,
not
ma'am.
up in the sanctuary.
Yes, ma'am.
So folks need to stop misrepresenting the way the man did his work.
Right.
He came out here among the lost.
Yes.
Okay, so all you saved people hiding in the sanctuary, trust and believe. The street sees you as hypocrites, because that's not the way Jesus did his thing.
Right.
Sit in the pew every Sunday acting like it's all good, and then Monday you turn back into the heathen you was Saturday night. Stop playing with this. Stop playing with this. And I say that candidly to every believer. You're not fooling anybody in the street with your piety.
Right.
If that thing was working, we'd be further ahead along than this. You'd be out here helping us the way Jesus helped those, the blind that couldn't see, the lame that couldn't walk, the hungry that couldn't eat.
The thieves, the prostitutes,
There it
the
is.
people that they turn away from the church because
Yes.
they feel like they have to dress a certain way
Yes.
and act a certain way
Yes.
and look a certain way in
Yes.
order for God to come into their lives and their
Yes.
hearts.
And when the word says you come to me dirty, I'll clean you up.
Exactly.
So,
And also, they kind of look at people, too, if they don't have the admission fee. They pass a bucket around to get the entrance fee.
let's leave the tithe alone, because something has to
right.
pay the rent and
Yes,
keep
no.
the lights on and feed
Yes,
the
indeed.
pastor
Of
and his
course.
family. So
Right.
that's a part of that. And I don't disagree with that help, that aid to keep the church working. But the same thing, 10% can be what you do, too. It's not just money.
Right.
It should never be considered
agree.
as just money when it's 10% of service as well.
Right.
Exactly.
So, could we use that 10% out here with this?
Yes, we could.
Yes, we could.
Yes,
so,
we
Sister, and we need for Miracle's mom to say
Come
her
on, girl.
last something to all the
Man.
it's a real difficult topic.
Yes.
I mean, love. That's all I could say. Learn how to love.
Yeah.
If you were a stuffer like me as a kid that didn't talk and didn't tell your mom and dad what's going on, talk. Tell somebody you hurting. Tell somebody you're feeling insecure. Tell somebody you're feeling less than. Tell somebody something.
Yeah.
So that, as Skipp said, that anger doesn't build up to where I don't care about your life.
Right.
The conversation needs to start there. Is everything okay? And honestly, be able to answer that question honestly. Are you okay today? No, I'm not. I'm not feeling all that good today, but I know tomorrow, will hopefully be a better day.
I'll get another chance.
And I get another chance to try and do better the next day.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
You know what I think? I think it's going to take a miracle. Oh, yes, it's going to take a miracle. And I want to say, keep your head to the sky.
Yes.
Because I
Yeah.
truly appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Yes,
you
we
being
really
the Merck
do.
Park activist.
God bless you, community family. Thank you, Angelique.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Oh, that's
listening.
your
And
name.
thank you, Skipp. And Gang Talk will be back next week.